boys and girls, it is time once again for the Guys Weekend Podcast. I am Josh Tenney, along with, as always, sensual to the touch. He comes off hot even when he's cold. Brandon Parks.
We're back. Oh, I see you're drinking a nice Coors Latte today, and a little
I'll never
tip off.
I'll never forget the story. I don't know if you remember Uncle Ronnie telling the story that the first time him and Aunt Betsy went out west, the first thing he wanted to do was try Coors for the first time, because at that point it had never made it past the Mississippi.
Yeah.
So he got so excited to try Coors for the first time, and he said that was the shittiest beer he had ever had in his life to that point.
Yep. And he said he could just keep it over there. Yeah. It's fantastic. Willis put down probably, I don't know, 30 of those last night. We went to
Willis is the king of the Blue Mountains.
He is. I'm surprised he doesn't have a Coors Light tattoo yet. We went to Salt Fork, which I had never been there before, and that was actually a really cool place. There's a lot of stuff to do there. They had 2 weddings going on simultaneously, plus like Sharon went ahead and called and rented some rooms out or whatever, and then like rented one little section of the bar that's in there and got like some pizza and wings and stuff like that. But man, it was it'd be a cool place to go in the summer, because there's like a shuffleboard, 3 pools, 2 big fire pits, the lake. It's wild. I'm like, man, this is super cool.
I would have met little Nippy yesterday on that lake.
Very, very nippy. We had so Friday, shout out to the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Zachary and Sarah Neild. They had their wedding on Friday, and it was the perfect weather. Like, if I could have any weather for a wedding, and I was in the wedding, and I didn't want to be sweating my nuts off the entire time. And man, it was a nice, crisp, like 65. It was perfect. It made walking around in a suit all day tolerable. And that was just fantastic. They are on their way. I believe currently now.
Your wedding was a tad bit nippy.
It was. Just the way I like it. Their wedding also got a tad bit nipplier after dinner. I didn't know this, but they had everybody there, the whole family, the bridal party, people I had never met before. They had a bet riding on when I would lose my shirt. I'm like, man. And I kept it on
like
until like the last. Yeah. I kept it on till like the last, I don't know, hour and a half before the wedding was done. So the wedding started at like 5. So I didn't take my shit off till like 11:15. They're like, well, your shirt was unbuttoned. I'm like, listen, I sat down to eat dinner, and that little button at the end was screaming. I was one exhale away from just launching that thing across the room. I'm like, we got everything out of the way. We don't have to do anything else. I'm just unbuttoning the shirt. And it worked well. And then, later on as the night progressed and the alcohol flowed, it came off. It was great. I got to the highest point in the little venue to do a shirtless, nothing but a good time guitar solo. Fantastic.
Depending on how late you meet Brandon in the night and how many beers he's in, it could either be the best experience of your life or the worst.
This is correct. And happy to report Schmanden was not at the wedding. So it was good. It was a good time had by all. Everybody did their respective roles exceptionally well. The bride was great, beautiful. The food, they had a taco truck. We had like 4 different types of meat.
No wonder that fucking Beltline was screaming.
Yeah. I'm like, damn. And then it got to the point where I was like, hey, may I have a beer? And they're like, well, what kind do you want? And I'm like, whatever's cold. So then they just started giving me Bud Heavies, and I'm like, whoa, this
Oof.
is gonna
Oof.
be rough.
They have
So we
enough.
went,
They have adequate bathroom space.
yeah, yeah. They only had one crappy A and then two urinals, so most of us just pissed outside, and then whoever had to blow it up, they had first dibs. Um, but yeah, we were originally going to be drinking Bush lattes, and they had like a little. Everything was at the same place, and then we stayed like a mile and a half down the road at the hotel, and they had like a little shack. They called it the one of the other the groomsmen referred to it as the orgy shack because that was his goal, was to swoon some women of the night and have coitus in this shack, which I don't think he was successful with. I'm not sure. Uh, so we were going to just sit back there, play some games, some pong, some cards, and we were going to be drinking Bush Light. They're like, hey, if you want to bring outside beers, that's fine. Just make sure it's the same as the case that I bought, or they'll fine me. And I don't know. I guess they're real dicks about that. Turns out they didn't have any Bush Light, and I'm like, well, I brought a few in the cooler. So we drank a lot of that, and then it switched to Bud Heavy, and then to Yingling, and then to Miller Lite, and then Chuck filled all of our flasks with Buffalo Trace. So we ripped a lot of that. I think I had a couple seltzers. Just mixed it all together. Just not a great combo, but it worked. It did the job, and it was a great time had by all. Brad was the best man. He made an exceptional speech, man of candor in class. Did very well. It was a great time. Great time.
Good.
Got to listen to Young Gravy on the dance floor. Oh, I mean, come on. Who doesn't love that? Actually, the day started off kind of funky because once we got into the venue after we had to get dressed, we were looking at like the bar, and I laid my coat, like my suit jacket, on the bar, and all of a sudden this sign falls and hits two bottles of wine off of the counter. One hits the ground and just explodes and just shoots wine and glass all over the place. I'm like, oh shit. And they just kind of looked at me and they're like, what'd you do? And I'm like, whoa. Listen, I literally just laid my jacket down and your sketchy shit fell right off the top shelf and almost killed me.
It's way too early for you to be blaming me for shit.
I know. I'm like, listen, now if this was like later after dinner and something got broken, yeah,
Chances are probably me.
Probably me, yeah, and I'm okay with that. I'm like, listen, I'm pretty much stone cold sober right now, like that. And there was another guy standing next to me. He goes, "Oh, that wasn't you." He goes, "That was coming down." He's like, "It's probably a good thing that it came down now and not later." And I'm like,
With all the drunks around, somebody leaving with a gash in their forehead.
Right. I'm like, well, at least we got that out of the way that I wasn't responsible for, slandering a bottle of wine. The appetizers, they had these buffalo like chicken meatballs, which chicken meatballs just doesn't sound right. But my goodness, they were fantastic. And then they did these little like crostinis with I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really sure what was on top of it. It was just like a thick chunk of could have been cheese, but kind of had the consistency of scrambled eggs. So I'm not sure. They doused it in hot sauce and it was just like a little one biter. Oh, and then they did watermelon with feta cheese and like mint on the top. I didn't have any of those, but Tice said it was fantastic. I'm like, yeah, I'll take your word on that one because
watermelon by itself is good enough.
Yeah, we don't need to muddy in the waters here, but it was great. All the desserts, holy shit! I had a snickerdoodle cookie with a snickerdoodle icing on top. It did like the little whip. Holy shit! It tasted just like obviously snickerdoodle, but like cinnamon sugar toast, and it was just it was fantastic, so good. Cake pops. I was stuffing pieces of meat in my pocket, just walking around,
For
nibbling on
later.
some. Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to need this later. And then it comes time to leave. We do the final send off, and they had a shuttle running back and forth. So Maggie goes, "Hey, I'm like, huh?" I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So it was either we stood there and waited for 45 minutes for the shuttle, or we moseyed on back to the hotel. We made it back to the hotel, and then Tyson and I proceeded to stay up until 9 a.m. And it was a nightmare. Chain smoking cigars, just ripping through any alcohol we could get our hands on. Outside, they had like a little, like the awning that you pull under to like go into a hotel, like the little thingy there. On top of that, they had 2 fireplaces and a bunch of chairs and shit. And we stayed out there, watched the sunrise, ate breakfast twice. It was great. But man, did I feel like complete ass yesterday. I think I drank 3 beers when we got the Salt Fork. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. A little water. They're like, come on. Scott and Tracy showed up. They're like, come on, let's go do some shots. Let's get fucked up. I'm like,
Scott take Tyson's weed again.
He did not. But, we kept a watchful eye on there, allegedly. So that was a good time. And there were a few members of the party that were very intoxicated. Classic Randy, by the way, getting the rumble stumbles on, and he bumbled around. He tried talking to me twice, and out of the entire 20-minute interaction, I think I counted 8 words. I'm like, fuck. But man, I tell you what, rock solid, swaying. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to catch him. He's rubbing up all on Mike and everything, and I'm like, oh boy. Mike's like, what is this guy doing? I'm like, he's just a touchy-feely kind of guy. That's what he does. And then Debbie, she told the story to everybody 31 times about the night she got a phone call that I was born. It was a Thursday. She was watching Knots Landing, and my dad called and said, we have a Brandon. And she said, what? And then we heard that 30 more times in about 15 minutes. So that was fantastic.
We have a Brandon.
Yes. Harry was there. Typical Harry.
He's drinking the hard liquor.
Oh yeah. When they got there, they ended up Tracy came down and gave him, she's like, oh, I got you a drink. And it had a lemon on the side of it. And I'm like, that's awfully clear. He goes, yeah, I don't need this. He just pulled the lemon off, pulled one of the straws out, gave it a little swirl, and went right to town. Apparently, it was a triple vodka and tonic, and he just went to town. I told Tyson Mike, I said, listen, I've seen this dude for years just pound him down, but he has never once had a misstep with dancing. Like, he could be absolutely 3 sheets to the wind, and he is still going to get up there. And he did it last night perfectly. He was swaying back and forth, going to the bathroom, could barely keep his shit in line. But when it came time to dance, he nailed it. Didn't miss a beat. And I'm like, man, that's how you know he's been dancing for the better part of 50 years. Just killing it. Trying to get Erica to dance with him.
Harry's one of those guys that I think his liver is now immune to alcohol.
Oh, it's got to be. Him and Benny both. Like Benny, it's got to be. Just pickled.
Benny. I remember when we were kids, we'd show up at Harry's at like fucking 11:30, 12 o'clock.
Yeah. Before kickoff of college football.
Fucking stumbling.
Yes, just roached. He took being Greek to a whole new level, and he thoroughly enjoys alcohol. But yeah, and then it just kept going, and then we'd end up leaving. I started thinking about that too. I'm like, man, we left from Berlin and drove. It was probably like an hour to get there, roughly. Drank all day, and then drove back to the campgrounds. I'm like, that's a little sketchy, but we did it successfully for. I couldn't tell you how many years we went. A lot. But yeah, just first time I had Uzo was there. Benny gave me a shot. Me and Molly, actually. We were in the driveway. They were trying to ride the unicycle around. And we were there watching them, and they kept going over. Every time they'd fall off of it, they'd go over and take another shot. And I'm like, oh, what do you got there? They're like, But he's like, well, you want to try some? You like licorice, right? And I'm like, yeah, I love licorice. Motherfucker didn't tell me it was black licorice. And I threw that shot back. And I'm like, this is terrible. He's like, no, it's pretty good. And I'm like, you're drunk. That was the end of that. First and probably last time I've had a shot of Ouzo. And that was, I don't know, 15 years ago.
What was that stuff that we tried at Alex's last year? They got to pay respects to his grandfather.
Oh, that might have been Ouzo.
Was it? It was some sort of black licorice flavored something.
Yeah, that was Ouzo. Yeah.
It was pretty awful.
Ah, so I did have a shot since then. Yeah, it's not great. Not great by any means.
Also, I mean, we were drunk enough that we were eating dog treats. So.
Oh yeah, that was a fantastic Meat Fest episode, and that they weren't bad, but probably wouldn't eat them again. The Alex's friend, who the friend that has that still and makes that stuff, has a. I just tried when Ronnie was in town the first batch of whatever it is that he made. I think it was some type of whiskey. And he goes, well, you want a little nip? I'm like, well, I'm riding the Grom. I'm like, I don't want to, overdo it. So I take a little sip. I'm like, all right, that's okay. Chuck gets there. He's like, yeah, I love bourbon and whiskey and all that stuff. Sure. He's like, it's not the greatest. It's only been sitting here for like 4 months. He goes, yeah, I'll try it. Chuck took 3 sips and he goes, holy shit. Mm-hmm. Alex is like, yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty rough. It's pretty bad. Burns quite a bit. He goes, but I guess it'll do the job. So Ronnie gets there and he's like, oh, let me try some of that. He rips a shot. He throw it down and he almost threw up. He goes, holy fuck, this is terrible. He's like, I could breathe fire right now. It's so bad. So needless to say, his buddy is revising his recipe. And by the time the next batch rolls around, it should be a bit more tolerable. So hopefully by next next Meat Fest, they'll have enough. But they are coming to Guys Weekend. So,
Brandon, I don't know if you seen on TV, but my favorite time of the year has come around, and that is the political ads.
Yes,
and every year I just sit there and go, God, I can't wait to see how much of a shit show these are. Like I'm waiting for like pictures to pop up on each commercial from now on.
Oh yeah, and they're just fucking. It's funny you mentioned that. I was watching a YouTube video and there was a commercial that came on prior to that, and I wasn't paying any attention. I was fucking around.
Speaking of YouTube,
yeah,
they don't vet the commercials and the ads and stuff depending on the age range you're in. Like my son's sitting there watching like FGTV and shit like that.
Yeah,
and a fucking political ad comes and it's about abortions and shit. And I'm like, what? Like,
oh shit!
Are you not thinking about the? I mean, they obviously are. They don't give a shit. They're just putting shit out there.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, like whatever.
Yeah, but I'm like, man, like I remember you never saw a political ad on like Nickelodeon as a kid.
Hell no. That's when they kept it pure.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's why we are the way we are today. So the YouTube video I was watching had nothing to do with politics, obviously.
Yeah.
And his name popped up and they kept talking about this woman and they just kept going back and forth. She kills babies. She's a baby murderer. She's all for abortion. She's going to kill babies, dead babies, dead babies, dead babies. And I'm like, Jesus, fuck. And then they said the name again and put her picture on there. And I'm like, I fucking know that girl. Don't know her personally, but like she's a friend of somebody I went to high school, like best friend of somebody I went to high school with. She's also married to a former Pittsburgh Steelers lineman, Marcus Gilbert.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I'm like, she doesn't hate babies and want to murder babies. Her best friend has 5 fucking kids. Like she takes, I mean, I guess maybe that's why she doesn't have any, but name that baby Heaven because that's where it's going. I don't know if that's her thing or not, but I was like, damn. And then literally every video after that I watched, it was the same thing. I'm like, oh my God. Can I get
We got a
something
pretty
different?
rambunctious Senate race going with Dr. Oz and who running against.
Oh, nice. I didn't see that. I should look into that. Is it getting
But
hot and heavy?
it's a whole shit show. The ads are fucking terrible. They're talking about the guy Fetterman who Dr. Oz run against, always bringing up the fact that he had a stroke earlier on in the year, which is it's kind of valid, but they're like really like digging in there, like
They're leading with that hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I could tell some of the videos are altered where it's like the guy he's like blinking on one side of his face and not blinking on the other, and shit like that. And I'm like, oh
They're trying
man,
real hard.
yeah.
That's great. That's great. The other one I have to hear about all the time, and they're doing it on the radio too, is taxing Tim Ryan. He's not for the common folk. Fuck, I hear that probably 10 times a day. I'm like, come on, man. And then there was another one that they were endorsing here, and it had nothing to do with like a political backing. It was like the Founding Brothers of something association, and they I don't know. I don't know who this guy is. I can't remember what the name is, but they back him and they just sound so confident that this guy isn't a shitbag at all. And he's just going to change the world and just be God's gift to man. And I'm like, who the fuck is this
I got
guy?
news for you. They're all shitbags.
Yeah. It's politics. That's how it goes. So that made me think, man, do we try to put out like a commercial endorsing one of us? Not for any like public office or at least any serious public office. We could just do something like
No, that's the kind of we start being so entertaining though that we'll fuck around and get elected to a public office.
It'd be so cool.
That's too much. That's too much stress for $80,000 a year, man.
Well, listen, if it was something like I don't know, there's got to be like a department around here that like there's no real competition. Like nobody wants to be the head of what Department of Sanitation or whatever you're getting voted into in your local municipality. There's got to be one where you just like start a smear campaign against the person that's on there, and you go on a fucking just a tour across the county. This is what I'm going for. It's a campaign trail. And then you just drag this person through the mud. They've been doing this job for 35 years, uncontested, and you just come in there like, fuck this guy.
we make fake funny smear campaigns about each other.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And then when they find out we all live in different states, it's even better. Oh,
it's be like Brandon loves living babies.
Yeah, and it's all positive. Yeah. Everything in there is just a positive message. Yeah. Josh Tenney, avid recycler. Just something stupid. Always sorts his trash. Just something dumb. Like, I think that'd be great. We could definitely write up a script. Maybe we'll dabble a little bit there, guys. We can and throw it together. Oh, Hat Marger, the best water meter man in Michigan. It's great, fantastic. Did you see? I just seen that this thing, speaking of smearing things and stuff like that, there was a chess champion that just broke his silence on, I guess he beat the the grand champion of chess in, I don't know if it's the world or just the United States. And they said that the reason that he won is because he was using anal beads to cheat.
What?
Yeah. So now that people are just smearing his name all over the place, and they're saying that they're trying to get, they're trying to like disqualify this guy from ever competing ever again because they said that he was using means to cheat and that wasn't right. And I guess the dude that's like was the world champion. Oh, so it's the world champion. Magnus Carlsen lost to this 19-year-old kid and refuses to ever play him again. Dropped out of the tournament, cut all of his losses, and they just went on an absolute smear campaign about how this guy was cheating and he was using anal beads.
How are the anal beads helping you?
I don't know. It's so the Carlson or whatever, it says that when they were playing, his over-the-board progress had been unusual, and throughout our game in the Swinkfield Cup, I had the impression that he wasn't tense or even fully concentrating on the game in critical positions, while outplaying me as black in a way I think only a handful of players can do. I don't know why this has anything to do with putting things in your butt. It's just weird.
I don't understand. I just don't, unless it's like,
They're
unless
sending
each
like,
one is like soaked with Adderall and it's like
yeah,
releasing a suppository every like 10 minutes or something into your
right.
body.
The chess world, this is a great sentence. The chess world spent the following week a buzz because nobody really gives a fuck after a week. It's like, okay, it's cool. These nerds are playing chess. That's fine. Maybe he used supercomputers inside anal beads to communicate the best moves to him via vibration. That's the only thing I could think of. But like, who's watching the match that's better than a grandmaster? I feel like if you're a grandmaster at chess, you know what the fuck you're doing.
I mean, out of the 4 people that are watching that around the world, I mean, it had to be one of those 4 people. It shouldn't be that hard.
Right. Yeah, you could definitely dial that in. So I guess it's just going on and on and on. And then they said that he continued to cheat in an online chess tournament. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, who cares?
Performance enhancing anal beads.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
That's really how Barry Bonds did it.
Damn. Now we know.
Hey, my white privilege this week was on full display.
Hold on. You cut out. Oh no. Are we losing service?
I am
shit.
now no.
I didn't hear anything you said there. All your bars dropped to red. You said white privilege on display, and then it went 0 dark 30. Joshua. Man, just when we thought we were out of the woods with the fucking other recording software that we used, now this one's starting to take a dookie on us. The weather's not terrible outside. It's not looking great. Josh, I'm going to stop this recording right now and hopefully save it. So feel free to just edit out all that shit and we'll pick back up. Do you want me to stop the recording, Josh?
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Now I can, yeah.
Fuck. I have no idea what's going on. My internet is perfectly fine right now.
That's weird. So there's like a 3-minute gap there. It was about 3 minutes of cock water. Back to your white privilege being on display.
I am not only am I a proud member of Costco, I am now a proud member of Sam's Club.
Ooh, yes. They've got a lot of good stuff there.
Oh, and they got completely different shit than Costco.
Yeah. You guys have a BJ's around there?
No.
So we have BJ's and Sam's directly across the street from each other. And then they're putting a Costco in like shitting distance from there. I'm like, oh, BJ's is about to get bullied and they're going to run all that shit on sale. And I'm cool for it. I'm here. I'm here.
Well, I used my job before my last day this week, at the end of this coming week, to purchase a $20 Sam's Club membership for the year. So
hell yeah.
Well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to the old place?
Yep.
Nice.
They offered me something I couldn't. 18 vacation days.
Wow.
Right off the rip.
That's sweet.
A little bit more money. Daylight.
Can't argue with that.
So we'll see how it goes.
I'm sure it'll be fantastic. That's great. I was just going to say, Mike Rader, it just said that he was getting a new schedule or something like that. And he said he'd be up early for guys weekend. So That'll be.
So if all goes well, I should be up there early evening. Well,
Cool.
we're not real early, but like say like
Yeah, before midnight. Oh boy, we lost him again, folks. It's getting. Actually, the picture on the screen is kind of funny. Wish I had my camera. I'd take a picture of it. Oh boy, he's back. You said something. You sound like a snake.
I I went to I was looking at shit I know about like celebrities and stuff, right? Like doing stupid shit while I'm on the toilet
Yeah,
throughout the day.
for sure.
And a thing came up about Woody Harrelson.
Oh boy, what do
So
you do?
apparently Woody Harrelson's father, man for the mob,
Oh,
and I
that's
did
kind of
so.
cool.
So every once in a while, look up. I've been a lot of. I think Woody Harrelson was on Joe Rogan in the last couple of weeks or something, or no, not Joe Rogan. He was on with what's Bill Maher,
Yeah.
and they were talking. And so I was like, you don't really hear a whole lot about Woody Harrelson. So I was like, let's go on Wikipedia.
Yeah, let's check it out,
So and like we know how it say like relatives in the
Yeah.
thing, and it says father, and it's like Charles Harrelson. So I click on him, and I'm like, all right. He was an American hitman and organized crime figure who was convicted of assassinating federal judge John H. Wood Jr., the
Holy shit.
first federal judge to be assassinated in the 20th century.
Damn.
Right?
That's fucking wild. How's nobody ever heard about that? I mean, I'm sure at some point in time that was very big news, but wow.
I have no idea.
Does it say he's still in like prison? Is he still alive?
Now he died in 07, and I believe he died in prison.
Wow. Damn.
Man. But he was convicted of murder twice, tried 3 times, acquitted on the first one, convicted on the other 2. How he got out, because he got convicted of murder in 73.
What?
And then convicted of murder again in 79. I don't know how he got out in that 6-year span to commit another murder.
But damn.
But man.
Wow. That dude was a G.
Right? He apparently there are allegations that he had involvement in the assassination of JFK.
Oh boy. He was so that means he knows George H.W. Bush or H. Bush. So he was the one that did it.
Yeah. But that was the wildest thing I ever read about a celebrity's family.
Yeah. Like that's off the wall. It's just it's kind of cool, honestly. Now I kind of want to deep dive into the JFK assassination and see what they think is his involvement in.
I kind of wouldn't it be weird if Woody Harrelson kind of like
did a movie about the JFK assassination?
No, if he
playing the part of his father.
If he started like method acting for his role for like Man from Toronto with Kevin Hart, and he was really just playing his father.
Yeah. That's great.
But I've never heard Woody Harrelson talk about his family at all.
Yeah. Well, fuck, I don't know if you would then. It's kind of cool though.
I also watched a video where Matthew McConaughey was talking about that first season of True Detective.
Mm-hmm.
And they were asking him, McConaughey, like, how did you prepare for your role on True Detective? And he said, really, I was just playing Woody. Because you can see there's a role, there's scenes in the show where, like, one scene is, I just wish Woody's talking to McConaughey, and he was like, I just wish you would stop saying weird shit. They get in the car. And Woody asked McConaughey, "Have you been sleeping?" And McConaughey goes, "I don't sleep. I just dream." And that's literally something I could picture Woody Harrelson saying.
Absolutely. Yeah. that's fantastic. Wasn't hmm, yeah, I'm thinking of a different show. What isn't that when Homegirl let out her big old sweater kittens? What
Oh,
the fuck was her name?
Alexandra Daddario.
Daddario, yeah. Fantastic. Great set of eyes on that one. Hmm. Oh, speaking of movies and stuff, did you see that Chris Pratt got the leading role in the new Mario movie?
Yeah,
It's interesting.
it
Jack
is
Black.
interesting. Jack Black.
I can't remember who the other guy was. I just kind of skimmed over it, and I see people that are just upset. Oh, Charlie Day and somebody else. Also, McDonald's is coming out with adult toys.
Adult Happy Meals. Adult Happy Meals. I heard.
Did you
I
see
read.
what the toys look like?
No.
No, no. If it was anything cool, I'd probably do it. I haven't had fast food in a while, but I would do it just for nostalgia's sake. They partnered with some company called Cactus Flea Market or something like that, and they're like I don't know, some modern day clothing brand. So hipsters and losers. Now they're making McDonald's toys, and then it's just like not reinvented, but like redesigned OG McDonald's characters, and they look absolutely terrible. Just not good at all. Like what a
Grimace is actually skinny with a man bun.
he looks more like a butt plug than he ever has.
The Hamburglar goes in, every time he goes into prison, he gets out on that no bail or that no money bail.
Yeah, he's always got another tattoo somewhere.
Yeah.
Fucking goofy.
I saw a post on Instagram the other day that they have officially started production on Reacher season 2.
Oh, sweet! I was just telling Maggie we need to watch that. We have like half of the last episode of Echoes to watch, and Maggie wants to watch Hocus Pocus too because it's spooky season. So we'll probably watch that after.
I watched it last night.
Was it worth it?
It wasn't bad.
All right.
It wasn't particularly great, but it wasn't bad.
Okay. Well, then that's good. I guess that'll help. But I said, yeah, we need to watch Reacher because I told her that you and I were talking about it, and it seems pretty sweet. So hopefully we can get into that. I'm really enjoying House of the Dragon, and I'm looking forward to that. I seen that people were still pissed that they did the whole time jump forward, and they didn't like that they got rid of young Rhaenyra and all that other shit. And I'm like, get over it, nerds.
Can't fucking. These people are nuts.
Yeah, and then I hear, have you been watching? What is it, the Rings of Power?
I am 3 episodes in.
Okay, so I was speaking to somebody Thursday night at the rehearsal dinner, and she was like, "Yeah, me and my fiance or whatever, we were starting to watch it, and it's just extremely slow. Like nothing's going on. It's just very, very slow." And she's like, "We're, Lord of the Rings fans and this and that, and it just isn't delivering the way that we thought." I'm like, maybe it's done intentionally to give you that slow build, and then they're just going to come out swinging with some action or something else to pull you in. She's like, "Yeah, well, hopefully."
I don't know how many episodes there are.
Thought they were doing 10.
Season. Because so if you go by, typically on a new series, unless it's like, they're going like 8 episodes and they're each like an hour and a half long or something like that.
Yeah.
Or for at least the first couple, they'll usually start off pretty slow.
Well, hopefully. I mean, I think they kind of wanted it to be Game of Thrones-esque, where it came out hot and heavy with everything that you expected. Great visuals, awesome action, confusing names and just a storyline to build upon that. But I don't know. I haven't watched it, so I don't know if I will, or maybe I'll just wait until they're all done with the first season and just kind of.
It looks like it's a 8 episode, so
Oh,
it is pretty strange that they would be so slow. I will admit it is very slow.
okay. Well, maybe I'll just wait until it comes all the way out, and then I doubt Maggie's going to want to sit down and watch that. So probably be one of those things I
She's gonna
watch.
hate it. No, she's
All
not.
right.
Nope.
Perfect. That's a me only show. Maybe. I don't know. If I can't get through the first episode or even like the second episode, I'll probably just not do that at all. We'll find out. The Steelers. What the fuck?
I thought the
Harris Pickett
he came out,
scored a touchdown.
the offense looked different when he came out. So
it seems like they obviously accepted him, but it's like they were also excited to have him out there to see what was going on. You could just kind of see that they were like, okay, cool. And then I almost had a heart attack watching literally everybody on the defense get hurt. Fucking Hayward went out for those 2 or 3 plays, and then Minka. It was just like, oh no. I think they're all right now though, which is cool.
Yeah, I think I'm wondering if you would have maybe pulled the trigger on Kenny before halftime. Wonder if there might have been a different outcome, because I mean, again, you have that defense getting those turnovers like they are, and you still can't win games.
That's not good.
Nope.
What do you think they do next week? Do you think they do the same thing with after halftime?
They have to stay with Pickett. You can't go and put him in
back
and then go back next week. You're gonna wreck your quarterback's confidence. Whoever they decide to put him in, it's not gonna matter.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. They play the Bills next week, so let that fucking kid just get out there and try his damnedest. That'd be some shit if they knock off the Bills. I seen the Bills lost today, right? They lost in the last. They kicked a field goal or whatever. Or no, they won. Yeah, they came back from behind 17.
Weren't they over in England?
Points. No, that was Minnesota and the Saints.
Oh, Minnesota. Yeah.
They were down 20-3 in like the third quarter or some shit, and they came back to win it 23-20. But yeah, that's wild. Hopefully they can get their shit together. My FanDuel, I started off great, absolutely phenomenal. I was in for like $25 up to halftime. I think I was winning like 70. I'm like, sweet shit. I think I'm down to $9 now. Like, this is terrible. Thought I had a good lineup.
I had to put money in today.
I had a decent lineup of wide receivers that I thought were going to do well, and they didn't do a damn thing. Just, man, just shit down the leg.
You want to talk about what's his name for the Dolphins?
Tua?
Yep. Dude got rocked. Probably should not have been in that game because he got rocked last week too.
Didn't he? I thought he was. They were supposed to put him on concussion protocol.
After last week's game, he should have been. You're supposed to go. You're actually supposed to go 7 straight days without a concussion symptom, and he played Sunday, and they played Thursday.
Ooh.
So the NFLPA fired the affiliated head trauma agency that they were going through for concussions, because that shouldn't have happened. But man, I mean, he got rocked last week, and then he gets hit this Thursday week.
Yeah.
And they didn't even pull him out of the game last week after he got rocked.
Man, they're gonna fuck that kid up.
And the way he got hit this past Thursday looked like he almost had a seizure when he got hit. I mean, his whole body just like tensed up and his fingers curled and shit.
I didn't see it. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Was it the Bengals one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. listen, I know that's it's a bad thing or whatever, but those Bengals unis, I like the all white helmets. Those are pretty
Oh
sweet.
yeah.
Let's see what they have to say here. Oh, is this from like? Oh, it is. It's a Hawaiian newscast.
Like that, I wouldn't be surprised if he sits out the rest of
Oh,
the season.
oh yeah, he's out. Damn. It's almost like he was out before he even hit the ground. Fuck. Yeah.
I mean, last week's game, he got hit, got up, stumbled back down to his knees, and had to have one of his linemen help him back up to his feet.
Shit. And then he went and played in the Bengals game and got rocked
Yeah.
again.
He continued playing in that game last week too.
Fuck. Yeah, no, he's out.
I mean, that dude. You seen pictures of like the they released of healthy brains and brains CTE.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah.
It looks like a fucking lung of a smoker.
It does.
A concussed brain. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Damn. Quarterback released his first statement. Oh. Yeah, he's probably done for a while.
I mean, I'm thinking he ain't coming back this year. At least.
Yeah, this from the saying he did all his MRI and his CT scans and said everything was cool, but I don't know, man. You can't consistently take those hits like that and
Nope.
think it's okay to get back out there. Like you need a fucking break. He's only what, like in his 20s? 24
like
or something like
20, 24, 25, something like that.
Oh yeah, no. Fucking sit the rest of this year out. Thanks for getting me all those points in week 2. I appreciate it. Or week 1, whatever it was. You did fantastic. You got me like 40 some points, but take a little rest, bud. Get all your marbles back in the respective spots because that shit's all over the place.
That's the kind of shit. If you ever get like water in your ear and you start wringing it out, fucking and then you just fucking go.
Yeah. You're like, whoop, see ya. Yeah.
Yep. God.
Damn. That's rough, man. That's just like the video you sent us.
The Georgia player that broke his, or not Georgia, South Carolina.
South Carolina, yeah. That was gnarly.
That was bad. Fucking
it was
phone
funny.
Came right out of the fucking shin. Like,
we were sitting, it was me and Tice at Tugboats, and Will and Sharon had just gotten there. They were going to get some wings, and we had a couple beers. And you sent it right at the same time, and I watched it, and Tice goes, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Yeah, check this out. Josh just sent it." He goes, "Oh, fuck, that's gnarly." And then Will goes, "What are you guys watching?" I'm like, "It's the video that Josh sent us." He goes, "No, well, now I got to watch it." So he goes, "Sharon, you want to see this?" She's like, "Oh, my God, that's terrible." I'm like, "Oh, wow. Yeah, that was rough for sure."
That's bad. It's something like that goes through the skin. I'm pretty confident that kid probably ended his career that day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
it's just like you ever seen Alex Smith's shit?
I was just going to say that. Yeah. Yeah.
And like he's got he had a commercial for something. I can't remember what it might have been. I think it was like a healthcare commercial or something like that. But he's wearing shorts, and that fucking scar all up and down his leg,
mangled.
Not only was it a bad break, but the fact that he had surgery to mend it and then got an infection from the surgery.
It was for shoes. Ofos, I believe is what it was. Yeah. Yeah, that thing's wicked. Shout out to his wife though for making that trophy or whatever out of all like the pins and shit that was in there. That was cool as fuck. But yeah, that's not. Is he doing anything now?
I think he might have retired.
What does it say? He was 38, so he could
come back and done anything.
Yeah. He probably not. He'll be a.
He came back out. He came back after that though.
I was gonna say this. Just said that he returns. Oh, he's fucking. Okay. Is now retired. Coming to Salt Lake City next week to tell a story. Yeah, so he's doing like TED Talks and shit like that. I mean, I don't blame him. He probably still got fat paid for that. Obviously, surgery and all that shit was covered, but probably still collected a hell of a check.
He had to have had the longest career for any number one overall pick that was considered a bust.
Yeah, it's what, 15 years?
Yeah, 15, 16, something like that. I mean, that's pretty impressive to be number one overall, kind of be a bust, and then
you're still out here fucking 16 years.
Yeah, break your leg, later. Come back. And he put up decent seasons. I mean, he never really put up that all-star season, but
yeah, he was never a shiner, like Joe Flacco.
Because that was the year the Aaron Rodgers sat till the 24th pick to the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Oh man, I think the Bills are going to be in the Super Bowl. I really do. I keep seeing that stuff. I know we talked about that, and we'll revisit it. Maybe adjust our picks. We'll go back and listen to what we said and see if we'll check in on what we did to see where we're at. But I think we're doing well. I did another FanDuel that's tonight. It's the Tampa Bay KC game. Oh my god! All right, I gotta hit big on that one. Hopefully.
I love the promo that they've been showing with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady for the game.
Yes. It's advertising done right there.
Yeah. But
perfect. We're going to have maybe some potential exciting news on next week's show. Stay tuned. It involves one of the GWP crew, the Risky Business crew. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but it could be cool. It's going to be cool. So yeah, stay tuned for that because it's gonna shock the community.
It involves butt plugs.
Yes, big ones, and vibrating anal beads to win chess. Really, it's just going to be a video of all of us playing Risk with shit in our ass, and we're just sitting there playing at a table.
Put those 8 gauges up there.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
So for Brandon Parks, I am Josh Tenney. This was the Guys Weekend Podcast. Good night.
Congratulations, Niels.